Hello everybody, it's Eldred here with Veloharmony. I wanted to focus on today talking about what do you do after a ride. I wanted to walk you through my routine after every ride, what I do. So I'm going to go ahead and put the camera on the bike. Basically, I get home, I put the bike on a stand. If you don't have a stand, you can stand the bike up in the corner. I'm focusing on the drivetrain because that's the main thing I spend the time on. If you look at that chain, you'd think it was new. This bike is, 2 years old. The chain is about 2 years old. I have 3 bikes, so I spread the use between them, and I use a chain checker here to make sure I check my chain wear, because it's very easy to do. You drop this in here. I don't do this every ride. I'm just doing it as an example to show you how I know it's 2 years old, but the chain's not ready to be replaced. You can see that. If this had slid all the way through, then that would be ready to be replaced. It's a very inexpensive tool. It's made by Park Tool, and it's really useful. It has 2 sides, a 0.75 and a 0.5. That lets you know how much wear your chain has. So it's a good way to make sure you replace your chain before it wears out your sprockets. But you can see this is almost a 2-year-old chain. Look how clean it looks. It's a combination of the care after riding and the kind of lube I'm using. This lube is called Pro Link Chain Lube. They don't pay me for it. I just bought it online. You can do your own research. Why I picked this is it's a dry lube, but it also cleans the chain as it lubricates the chain. It gets the dirt out of there. And so you just wipe. Our drivetrain on our vehicle is exposed. So all the dust on the road or whatever gets on the chain. And so after every ride, you want to make sure you take a rag, put it on your chain, even if it's on the ground. You don't have to have a stand to do that. And you just backpedal. What has the big chain ring? Now, I like to keep mine in the big chain ring. You can see what little dirt. Just got back from a ride. Look at that. Okay, it's not much because I keep up with it. But I keep it on the big chain ring so I can do this. I can put the cloth here, the rag, and just pedal and pick up all the grit that's on there. Let me stand on this side. It's a lot easier to do from this side. So basically, you can see, just get that rubbed off. And you can see there's not a whole lot. It's kind of hard to even show on the camera, just a little bit. But if you do this after every ride, all that does is it moves the surface dirt so you have nothing to grind in. Then, maybe twice a week, I'll take the same rag and I'll go between my sprockets. While it's still on the bike, I don't bother. If I ever change the wheels for any reason, I do the same thing. And just clean. You don't need to get all the way down in there. You just want to get the front part of the teeth. That's where the debris gets. You see the little dirt on there. It's not much. I keep the sprockets clean this way. After every other ride, I'll do that with the sprockets. Or I'll take the rag, ball it up like this, and do this backwards. And it picks up debris. Kind of hard for you to see. There's not much. But by doing that, you keep the debris from being present so it doesn't get ground in. It's the grinding of dirt and grit that tears up our equipment. Then I also do my chain wheel here, right here. When it's on the big chain wheel, it's easy to access these rollers here. So look, I do this. You can also put it on there like this and then kind of spin. But just be careful that it doesn't get snagged in there. And then on this side, you can hold it back here and then you can spin back. You don't need to hold it very tight. Just let it rub off a little bit of the dirt that's on there. But when you get a lot of grit on there. Now, if you're using wet lube and it's been there a while and it's picked up a lot of stuff, yeah, you'll get a lot of dirt off of there. So you may want to spray maybe something on the rag and clean that off, or probably just go ahead and wash your drivetrain and then start doing these maintenance cleanups after every ride if you have neglected the bike. But if you do this, you rarely need to wash the chain. You just clean it after every ride. Just get a rag. So the one thing you need to do is just keep your chain clean. And that's how you can tell. You look at a rider's bike and you just look at the drivetrain just clean and you know, yeah, this person is serious. Because really you spread your maintenance. I mean, it's like by keeping your drivetrain clean, your components last so much longer. You have less wear and tear on them. And so that's the main thing. And then I check my wheels. I look between the brakes, make sure they're not wobbling. If you guys want to know how to do wheels, leave a note, leave a comment down there. I'll do a video on how to true wheels. So you can at least have a general idea of how to true your wheel while it's still on the bike. And I'll give you some tips on how to do that. It won't make you a master wheel builder, but at least you'll understand how truing works. Because it's one of the main things that we run into. You hit all these potholes and whatever when you're riding. That's what messes up your wheels. And so if you want to know how to minimize the wear and tear on your wheels, make a note of that. I will do a video for that to kind of talk to you about, because you minimize that when you ride. And so I just wanted to cover the main things I do. So besides cleaning the drivetrain, once I'm done with the drivetrain, then I get another rag and I take my good old trusty Simple Green. Let me grab it. You can use any kind of cleaner that is not very abrasive. You don't need an abrasive cleaner. If you want to use Dawn soap with water, that's fine too. I just spray a little bit of mist on there because it's a dry ride. And really, here's where we get all the crap. Let me move the camera. Everything you get on the road comes under here. This is where they get. That's the first place I clean. I get that out of there. Then I check. You can see there's a little bit of dirt on the cloth. Look at that. That's not much. But if you left that there over time, it would accumulate. So then I flip the cloth to a clean spot on the cloth. And then I do my top tube, because that's where all the gels and other things you may be eating or whatever that gets on there. You clean your fork. It doesn't take long. Just wipe the thing down and your bike's ready for the next ride, and it looks the business. You know, you need to look, you need to be serious. You got to look serious. I mean, you can't go out there, you know, with a filthy bike. I just don't like my bike dirty. That's just me. You know, and by cleaning the bike, if there's any kind of a crack or anything that's going to come about, chances are you're going to notice it. You know, all my frames are years old and they look like I just got them yesterday because I take care of them. And that way I don't have to spend money on them. I can spend money on other things. But I just want to go over that. And you can also, sometimes I'll clean the pedals also. I just put that on there and just clean the inside of the pedal. Let me bring it over here. Just clean that. Where you step on, where you clip into, clean that. And last but not least, I clean my shoes. I get a different rag. Let me back this off a little bit so you can see. I'm going to go ahead and sit. This is what I do. So basically I come down here, because remember, when you're out there riding, the grit, cars are passing you, dust, wind, whatever, it gets on you. It gets on your arms, your face, your legs. So it gets on your shoes. So before you put your shoe up, you can see the little cubby holes back there. That's where my shoes go. I'm not going to put a dirty shoe in there. It doesn't take any time to spray a little bit on a clean piece of this rag and just wipe my shoe down. This shoe is like 5 years old and it still looks the business. You don't need to keep buying stuff if you take care of them. You know, you can use the money for other things. And basically I wipe my shoe down and put them in there. Once my shoes are put up, straight to the shower, get the grit off my body. Now, if I drove to a ride, or, you know, we went to ride somewhere and we packed a bag and I drove to a ride, I will have a rag like this in the bag. At the ride, I don't bother cleaning my shoes. I take it off, throw it in the bag, because I always have a shoe bag. I throw it in the bag to bring it home. When I bring it home, I clean it at home. But I clean myself, because you've been riding for 2 hours, however long, you've got grit on you. You don't want to just sit in your car. I always have a towel, a big towel that I tie around me. I take off the shorts that I rode in and I put on dry clothes. You take a towel, you have some water. I always carry water just in case there's not facilities like a restroom. Some rides, organized rides, will have a place where you start off at a school stadium or something, and they have facilities. You go in the restroom with your towel and clean yourself. Wipe your face down. That's what you see the pros do. They go back after the end of the ride, the guys that are on the podium, they come in there, look like they haven't been riding. They go back, they get a wet rag, they clean the grit off their face. It's not good to keep that on your face. it's fumes and other crap. You don't know what's in those things. Wipe your face, wipe your arms, wipe your hands, the necessary areas, armpit, whatever. Clean yourself. And then, even if you don't have facilities at a ride, that's why I use those big towels and I change the shorts. And you clean yourself with a damp rag. You feel so much better. So if you're driving home for an hour or two, you don't have all that crap on you to come home. So just remember that. I will do a video on how you take care of your cycling clothes and how you're supposed to wash them so they last. Because, I have clothes that are 20 years old, cycling jerseys, and they still look good. Because it all comes out of how you take care of them. But I just wanted to cover things that you do after your ride. So after your ride, clean your bike. If you're home, jump in the shower. Get that crap off of you. Keeps your skin from getting anything on there. Because if it stays on you longer, who knows? You might react to it. You don't want that stuff on you. You don't want the grit from the road on you. The same stuff that gets on your car gets on your skin when you're out there riding. So just remember, you clean your bike, just wipe it down. Unless something spilled on the saddle, most of the time, a damp rag with water, if the saddle's leather, you just wipe it periodically, but you don't have to do that every ride. The main things after every ride, your drivetrain and clean your frame. And while you're doing that, if you see any issues, like, if you know about shifting problems or whatever, you deal with it right there and then. Or if you can't do it yourself, you take it to the shop. But, post your comments and questions below and let me know what you want to see out here. Be in touch. Stay tuned to the channel.